Welcome to the world's first Straight Talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
All right, everyone, we're back with another very exciting episode of Straight Talk Solarcast. With us today, we have both Timna and Catherine from SimpliPhi Batteries. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, a little bit about SimpliPhi. We are really excited. We have our first project that we're going to be installing hopefully by the end of the month. And then we have a second project coming. And so we are really excited because SimpliPhi has a different battery technology and battery chemistry that everyone in the solar world is discussing. And I was hoping we could talk a little bit about that first.
Absolutely.
Great. Go ahead. What makes SimpliPhi a little bit different than the other battery solutions available?
Yeah. SimpliPhi Power, founded in 2010, and really with a goal to design and manufacture the highest efficiency batteries that could be available on the market. We began to innovate energy storage and management systems. And for us in 2010, it was really important to take a stand in the market around the chemistry. And chemistry matters, and so does form factor. So when we founded in 2010, the predominant chemistry was LCO, lithium cobalt oxide. And then over the years, as the industry progressed, lithium with manganese, cobalt, nickel, and so now we have NCA and NMC. But for us, we were looking to achieve probably four predominant goals leveraging energy storage. And that was to create security and to take care of resilience. And we're certainly seeing that today, and the critical importance of that with power outages and interruptions in grid services. So from our perspective, the LFP, the lithium iron phosphate or ferrophosphate, was really the only chemistry of choice because it removed cobalt, and cobalt, especially in the early days with consumer electronics, that chemistry was designed for smaller format batteries.
Okay.
Because of the heat and the thermal profile of cobalt in lithium batteries, it was thought early in the industry, size alone would mitigate risk. And so small format batteries for laptops, cell phones. And so as you scale up those batteries, you scale up the risk as well. For us, that was a competitive proposition. We were always about creating security and resilience. Number two, overriding goal was to solve intermittency. And again, early in the industry, intermittency was relegated to renewables only. And we're seeing all over the country, indeed all over the world, that intermittency actually has great relevance when you think about grid infrastructure and top-down centralized transmission and distribution. So if we're going to solve intermittency and security leveraging energy storage, it has to be safe. It cannot be a toxic, unstable, and hazardous chemistry that fundamentally puts the end user, the customer, at risk. Our goal was also, as a mission-based company, to reach the 1.2 billion in 2010 that were without power, live beyond the grid. And so we were very focused on not just grid-side installations, but also off-grid, and bringing energy and power to communities that otherwise were marginalized simply because they didn't have access to power or diesel generators. And then, of course, the transition to a higher percentage of renewable energy. And again, chemistry matters there because we're talking about clean energy and renewable energy. Why use a toxic battery to store that clean energy?
And when you say toxic battery, which are some of the, or maybe you can't say the brands, but the chemistry that you're saying is toxic is the LPO, the lithium ion batteries?
It's the lithium, under the rubric lithium ion, there are many different classes of chemistry. So what I'm referring to specifically still on the market today is LCO, lithium cobalt oxide, the NMC and the NCA. And if you look at fires, whether it's laptops, cell phones, or as you again scale up in capacity, multi-megawatt hour installations, the fire at APS, the Fluence battery, that was based on LG Chem, I believe NMC. And so chemistry does matter as well as form factor, all the elements that go into a battery that is not hazardous, but also has a high performance rate, high efficiency. That is what we control as a manufacturer of our own batteries. We do not white label and can control the performance profile of a battery, which is so important for the ROI and the economics.
How about an end of life with the the toxicity of the batteries? That seems to be a really big question that not a lot of people are answering.
Yes, even with lead acid batteries, you can say that they can be recycled. But anytime you're recycling something that's toxic and hazardous, like lead or acid, or in this discussion, cobalt, it adds to the complexity, the danger, and the cost. And again, for our company, looking at cradle to cradle principles from extraction and extraction with cobalt means child labor. A lot of the world's greatest deposits of cobalt are coming out of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where child labor and mining practices are such that we chose not to participate in that supply chain. And as you say, all the way to second life batteries or recycling. So part of that proposition is to ensure that batteries have the longest cycle life possible. And your question, end of life, our warranty provides 10,000 cycles, but end of life, you're still going to have 80% capacity in the battery.
Great. And the warranty is for 10 years. And so at the end of 10 years, you'll have 80% capacity. So probably in 20 years, they'll probably be at 50%.
Well, it's not a linear curve, I will say that. But
okay.
Yes, the warranty is for 10 years, but people will have batteries much longer than 10 years. And we're one of the few companies that offers a 10-year warranty. And we've been around as long as our batteries have and have earlier deployments in the mobile portable systems that go before 2010.
Sure. We get a lot of people are really familiar with the Tesla Powerwall. And one of the things they really like about it is that it's a really clean looking, it was really a lot of people they have no concept of the chemistry or end of life or warranty or anything. They just think it looks cool. And so can you tell me about the SimpliPhi? And I am familiar with the enclosures that are available. But I know these batteries are really heavy, and getting them mounted on a wall would be a little bit challenging, but wanted to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, I'll let Timna jump in. She's the applications engineer, but I'll just say that our batteries are mounted on walls, and we've had 2040 mounted on walls with brackets.
Yep.
One of the reasons that we've built a fully integrated unit like the Access using these batteries that can be put on a wall, shelves, cabinets, et cetera, is we really approach the market to be as scalable and flexible as possible. So we don't preclude other inverter charge controllers. All over the world, people have on-grid and off-grid systems with pre-existing charge controllers and inverters. And so our open source approach allows us to have a very flexible solution to meet the customer's project requirements, not to shoehorn in a solution that really doesn't fit what their needs are. And Timna, sorry, I'll stop there.
So yeah, there are some enclosures. There's the battery-only storage system that SimpliPhi has that acts as kind of an enclosure and a battery combiner box all in one. And it's a nice looking cabinet. And then there's also the access system that includes an inverter and the batteries also in a cabinet. So that kind of sleek look is achievable with SimpliPhi's products. But to add on to what Catherine was saying, I think that the small building blocks that SimpliPhi has are much easier to work with. If I personally, and I'm a 5 foot tall woman, can pick up each of these batteries to install them, then I think that speaks to the ease of installation, and actually having a smaller battery to work with is a lot easier.
Sure. As installers, we appreciate that. And one of the reasons that SimpliPhi is really preferable is that it can be used to back up an entire home and not just some key circuits. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Right. So each battery is rated at 3.8 kilowatt hours total. We recommend a maximum 80% depth of discharge. So that puts you at about 3 kilowatt hours usable. That battery can be used as a building block to scale up to whatever kilowatt hour requirement or power requirement the end customer has. And every time someone calls SimpliPhi and they have a project that we're working on, we ask about all of those specifics. What the customer wants to achieve with their battery is really the goal, right? So the scalability is huge, as well as the assistance that we can provide in terms of programming a variety of different inverter or charge controller equipment so that the system functions the way that the customer has envisioned.
Great. In our Google trend research, we've determined that there's a lot of people searching for batteries and a lot of people searching for Tesla alternatives. And so there's a huge opportunity, which is why we're really excited to have you both on the podcast. And we will definitely include all of the ways that people can find SimpliPhi. But we're already at 12 minutes, which I said it flies right by. So anything parting you want to leave our customer or our listeners to, and a lot of them are customers. But go ahead.
Well, I think just in terms of the flexibility on a comparative basis, the fact that we don't have in small print in our warranty that ambient temperatures of 76 or 86 degrees have to be maintained to protect the warranty. The fact that we have such a wide operating temperature, so that in very hot climates, the installation or the battery warranty is not at risk, much less the customer being at risk. And then, of course, what Timna was describing, the BOSS battery-only system and the access, those can be installed indoors and outdoors. And very often people's space in their garages or homes is precious. They don't want to give that for equipment. So really trying to create a versatile solution that can be installed and utilized in many different use cases: AC coupling, DC coupling, on-grid, off-grid, virtual power plants with utilities. The versatility is what we're really focused on.
Great. Yes, we are as well. We'd rather do what the customer wants than what we want, but there's always a give and take. And it sounds like with SimpliPhi, we can definitely provide what the customer is looking for. So very good. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there. And I have a zillion more questions, so maybe we'll have Timna and Catherine back on for another 10-minute episode. But our listeners tend to appreciate the brevity of our podcast, and they don't get overwhelmed. But I'll also put in the show notes how to reach SimpliPhi, and we definitely appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.